Hello everyone, I am Pac Nano. Today I'm back with another video. I just wanted to talk about something that I've been wanting to talk about for a while, and yes, let's just get right into it. So if you're an avid player of video games in general and you've heard of Realm of the Mad God, there's a very low chance that you've probably heard of private servers that are like an alternate to Realm of the Mad God, and one of those servers is Nilly's Realm. And Nilly's Realm is just like a better version of Realm of the Mad God, and I'm going to go into why. And I'm going to go into why it's also not as good, but there's a lot more things that are better with it than there are worse with it. So yeah, let's just get right into it. This is why Nilly's Realm is better than Realm of the Mad God. So first of all, there is a marketplace in this realm, or in this game rather, and you can go in there and you can buy stuff with fame, which is super cool because you usually don't think of buying things like buying items like armor, weapons, abilities, and rings and stuff like that. You think of buying it with like the coins that you buy, but in this private server, you can just buy it with fame. If you're a good player and you can grind out godlands and stuff like that, then you can get a lot of fame, and then you can buy a lot of good stuff for your character, which eventually does get boring after a while, but it's all good. You can also buy stat potions and stuff like that, so that it's basically everything that you can use on a character. And yeah, you can also buy dyes and cloth and stuff like that in the cloth bazaar. So yeah, I think I picked up a tier 11 bow and sword for my melee and my ranged, or my archer class rather, probably for around like 10 fame each, which some people would never dream of having for 10 fame. That's pretty good. And you can even get some tops, like wine cellar tops, for it's a big vary of like, I'd say around 5 or 6 to like 200 fame, depending on how much people think it's worth, or it's just how it's actually worth. And sometimes people don't even care, and they just like they just sell tops for like 2 fame. So it's always good to have that. And the prices vary, like I said before, because you can get some unbound rings for very expensive, and there's also be some like lower rings, I guess, and those will be expensive because if they're health rings or attack rings, then they'll be high priced. But if it's like a dex or a vit or a whiz ring, then it's not going to be expensive because it's just not, and people don't find as much value in them as they do in health and attack and defense rings. So really, you can find pretty much any ring you want if you're willing to spend enough money to get a good ring. So yeah, it's also dependent on how much people sell them for, and if they think they're worth a lot more than they actually are. Another pro is that Nilly's Realm has custom items, and that they have a lot of custom items. They also have some custom sets and some pretty cool bosses. So yeah, that's some pretty cool stuff. You can get these sets, but they're not easy, and they did some really good jobs on most of these sprites. I'm looking at some of them now. There's a few sets that I especially like the Captain America one. That one's pretty cool. There's a few cool bosses, like video game references. Most of them are event bosses. Other ones are dungeons, like they have custom dungeons. So yeah, those are pretty cool. So now we're going to move on to the cons. So one con that is a big deal or not a big deal, depending on how you look at it and if you've had experience with the game or not before pets existed, is there's no pets. There's no pets, and like if you're an experienced player with the game and you know what you're doing and you're like, I don't need a pet, I don't need to worry about that, then you're pretty much golden. But if you're an new player, then you're probably like, well, I've played Realm and I have a pet. I have a fairly good pet, and now I don't have any, so what do I do? Well, I mean, they offer you like cheap gear, So if you can go out and get yourself some gear and just suit up, you should be good. And if you just learn some skills, you should be good. Another con, the last one, is that connecting time to connect to the server is very long. They only have one server open for the entire like just for everyone to join, and they have certain positions, and it takes quite a while to join. If you're eager to play it a lot, then don't get your hopes up too high, because unless you have something to distract you for like at least 20 to 40 minutes, then you're not going to be able to play a whole lot and entertain yourself while you're waiting to play. But if you usually have something like a book or like a 3DS or something like that, I don't know, I'm just giving examples here. But if you have something to entertain yourself while you're waiting, then you shouldn't have a problem with it. So yeah, that's about it for the pros and cons of Nilly's Realm and why it's better. There are a lot more reasons Nilly's Realm is better than Realm of the Mad God. I didn't want to talk about them in this video because I feel that they weren't very important, but it's worth mentioning. Speaking of something that's worth mentioning, loot drops in Nilly's Realm, they're pretty much just like amplified to the nth degree, because I don't know, because that's just how the server works. But it's so much easier to get loot in Nilly's Realm than it is to get in Realm of the Mad God. And that's another pro that I just decided to put in after recording all this, because I didn't really plan that. That's why Nilly's Realm is better than Realm of the Mad God. And thanks for watching, guys. Peace.